look at that! Oops, that was really loud. They're called nut dressings. Nut dressings. All right, you're coming with me. No. All right. What could be happening? Look what I see. Oh, you little devil. Well, hello everyone. Here we are at episode 10. I can't believe it. Yes, it's still taking me way longer. There's been a lot of work in between, and so I'm literally out of sync by many, many months. Quite a few months. I physically look different, I believe, than when we started this project. Anyhow, we're on a roll. The machine is physically kind of working now. It's in a good space. I'm testing more of the stuff that the machine can do and finding out that more things are actually working, which is great, as you'll see coming along. Great, so that's good. Now, what we don't have is a mouse. I still don't have a mouse working. So I'm limited to what I can do and what I can't do until I get a mouse and the proper keyboard working together. That is upcoming. Also, right now I'm using a drive image, like a copied image of Steve's image, but I'm using his SCSI to SD card assembly. I've got to make my own, I've got to mount that, I've got to make my own and cable it and make it all nice, right? Which is great. I've got to then start on the front panel and do all the measurements and then figure out how I'm going to cover it or screen print it or how I'm going to etch it or paint it, whatever, I don't know. That's still to figure out. And then also the hinges and the brackets from the front panel, I've still got to do all those too. And then of course, I've got to actually get more sound to come out of it. Right now I'm limited by the amount of cards that I've got in the machine, which is a bit of a deal. And then of course I've got to actually get it rack mounted. It's a rack mount machine. I need to figure out how I'm going to mount all this stuff. And then, kind of finish up all the bits and pieces. There's still a lot to be done, but there's a lot we're going to cover in this episode. So sit back and relax, and here's episode 10. All right. So I've decided at this point that these five channel cards are fine. Why? Because that gives me 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 outputs, and the amount of working 331 output cards gives me 10 channels. So for the foreseeable future, that's all I'm going to have anyway. So I may as well get onto it and then see later on about getting more channel cards working, getting more memory into it. That's a solvable problem because I know that the 32 meg single card option works. And I think I'll be able to get this memory card working, so that's no problem. But the next stage is to now, I've started putting it back together again. Have a little look. Ta-da! Right? And then I realized that one of the issues I was having was that RS wasn't working. I don't know why, but RS stopped working. And I don't know why, because now I've found that if I type in CMI 11, it will load. Now, CMI 11 is slower than CMI 9, apparently, although I'm not seeing much difference here right now. But the great thing about it is that RS just loads up straight away. Okay, this is future Chris talking. Again, we do know why this happens with these cards, okay? It's the same card that was causing the channel cards not to work. Now, I didn't know at the time, but it was a different version, and they needed the newer version of the software, version 11, to allow RS to run. The learnings. But anyway, now we know. So it's no secret, it's no mystery. I know what it is now, just this was filmed a little while ago. Now that RS is finally working, it does allow me to concentrate on trying other parts of the machine and other bits of the software. I'll let Chris explain. Let's have a look at the back of the output board of the Fairlight, because there's something that I need to check. So this is what's going to be facing backwards at the back. Some people have them mounted forwards to look cool, but this is going to be mounted backwards because I don't really need to see this once it's going. But this is the output stage, and this blank plate here is where the sampler will go. Now, I've actually still got work to do on this. I know this is going to be coming apart again, so I have no problem there. I've got to add a 10-pin connector to bring the power supply down. Then I've also got to change the power supply out and get something that can give me a clean, and I think it's going to need to be an analog toroidal kind of transformer to do that. Then later on, I know I've got more cards to put in, And so I've still got some work to do here. No problem at all. One thing I want to do right now is just unplug one of the outputs there, right? Only one of these outputs anyway. And I've just plugged it into this little SMPTE thing here. I can't test this. I've got nothing to test it with apart from metronome. So how about I just load up RS and check to see if this works. Yeah? How about that? Alright. We know MIDI works. I haven't tested this, so let's go test that. Oops, that was really loud. What we're going to do is, let me just load in anything. That's like Funky 5. So let's go to RS. And it works. And I'm going to load Funky 5. Boom. Now I've got the input coming from just, excuse the phone, I've got the input coming from that channel coming in here. Alright? And so I haven't got the amplifier hooked up, but you should be able to see if there's a metronome here. Right, so let's now just go to make sure my metronome is on. So F10 toggles the metronome on and off. Great. So now let's just go play. And there we are. You can see that there. There we go. That's showing, that's fantastic. That's our metronome working. Fantastic. Let's do this. You can see it going along there. Boom, boom, boom. See that? 1, 2, 3.
By the way, I would have used my amp so that you could have heard things, but I loaned it to someone that day because I'm a nice person.
I've just had a thought. I've had this intermittent caps thing, RS thing working. Man, I look crazy. I've had this RS thing on and off, and now that I've realised I'm forcing it to go into CMI 11, could that be what's stopped? Or what's stopping caps from running? Okay. Caps. It's never ever worked at all. It's always said invalid module. Oh! Haha! Look at that! Yes! Oh, this is wonderful! Oh man! So I had a question on the Fairlight forum before about caps, and now I can answer it with my own machine. Wow! Alright, does it work? Can you press play and things? Oh, no opus file. Alright, okay. So I need to go new. We're gonna call it fart. And fart. Did it work? Oh, that's interesting. I'm writing a file, and it's really taking its time. I had a problem before. Oh, it's worked. All right. I had a problem before with SCSI termination not working with writing on Steve's machine upstairs. So now I can press play. And play works. And I can see the metronome is working too. And there it is, it's working. Yes! Holy crap. Alright. So far so good. You know what I haven't seen? Like, is the mix page? Is it MX? I've not tried all of these pages. Yes, it does. No voice. So hang on, let's just DIR. And let's load a voice, shall we? Let's just load up brass. A simple brass. Bonk. It's nice and quick. So let's go MX. Yep. All works. Press F2, source. No source sub voice. No, can't remember how to use this one. Doesn't matter. Do these have things? Oh, look at that. Oh, just wonderful. I can't wait to try this stuff. All right, we are really making a great headway here. So let's just quit this. So now what we've got the SCSI, the SCSI to SD. I've got to re-emulate that on my SCSI to SD, not using Steve's. I've got to get a front plate that can hold the little on-off, the little switches, and then I've also got these little posts here to hold the SCSI to SD card. So I've got to get that plate made, and then on top of that, I've got to get hinges and figure out how to get all the metalwork so that it actually closes. That's going to be an interesting one. I've got to make the 19-inch rack ears so it can actually be mounted somewhere, and I've never tested the mouse. I've not got the mouse working, so I know that I've got to still get more different voltages to go to from the analog cage power supply, because it's even if I connect the little keyboard thing that Andre made to allow you to plug in a mouse and a keyboard, it doesn't work because it doesn't have the right voltages. So there's that to do. So there's still a considerable amount to do, but it's working with 8 megs of RAM. That's all. It's 8 instead of 32 megs of RAM, and 9 voices. I know that other one doesn't work. 9 voices that work going out of it. So it's like half a CMI right now. But it's working. So onward. You know, I remember having when I had my job at Digital Domain, my signature file, when people did signature files back in the day, was the last 10% of the job is 90% of the work. And I feel that that might be ringing true for this particular job. Although this has been quite a stretch, I think this next part is going to, take a little bit longer. But we're getting there. Look at this beastie. Let me just walk this camera back. Look at this thing, looking all proper. So proud of itself now. Look at that. It's like a proper Fairlight with a Fairlight face on it. It just needs the front plate. So today I'm going to be getting all this sorted out, which is the booting and the hard drive of the actual machine. Now so far what I've been doing, I've been running with this one, which is from Steve's Fairlight CMI, and I took his card, immediately cloned it, a bit for a bit clone, and put in one of my cards and put that into this, so that wasn't damaging or doing anything to his system. Boom. Now what I wanted to do is then get that, clone it. I took the card out from there, put it into this, did not boot, didn't like it. This one seems to have 4 partitions set up. But it only seems to be, when you clone the card, it only seems to be doing, I don't know, it doesn't seem to be cloning the partitions. The upshot is that I've got to figure out how to take the data from this cloned card, or back it up somewhere and re-image this properly so that this boots correctly. And so far, it's not working. But I'm going to find out why. The benefit of this particular card is this USB port, which allows me to send samples to it from a host computer. All right, so we're going to go from this, put this back on Steve's machine, and then let's get this going. So I've plugged in Steve's card and Steve's SD, SCSI to SD, and it's working perfectly fine. It reads it as firmware 4.1. And then I go through the different devices. It looks like you have to do a thing, you have to read from the card first, load from this device. And then you look through and you see where all the SCSI devices are. What's odd is 0, 2, 3, 4 isn't on, but it's funny because I saw 4. Let's just reread. How about that? Let's just load from device. Reading flash array row 1. So done. So now when I look through it, it actually says SCSI terminator, but it's for 5 pattern. Because it's got hardware SCSI terminators, I don't know what's doing there. Enable SCSI 0, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. So now if you look at these numbers, okay, let's say I do a little, oops. Can I do a screen grab, perhaps? There we go, so I'm going to do this for device 1. And I'm going to do that. Device 2. I'm just doing screen grabs because I've already read that you can't, the firmware isn't, you can't load the settings from one and paste it onto another, apparently. And I wouldn't, you know what, I can try it though. Why not? So let's just go to here and let's actually save the file. Alright, so SCSI to SD 4.1. Let's just try that. Alright. Save. If I try and connect this to this version of the software, I don't think it sees it. So if I plug that in, searching for SCSI device, it sees the cards. So it sees these 4 cards, but it doesn't see the device. But it's not seeing the actual device. Fine. So what I'm going to do is download the right version of that. Alrighty, that didn't take long. Now I'm going to plug this one in. It's running the new version of the software, and boom. 6.31, perfect. Okay, so it's now seeing all that, and I'm going to ignore those. I wonder if
It's pretty clear I don't understand how this card actually works. Are they saved on the card? Are they saved on the SD card? And also I don't know the history of any of the firmware updates or the history of the hardware itself. So I'm a little bit out of odds with this.
I'm going to try sending it the one that I loaded. Let's just open file. This might be a bad idea. Let's see. Load. Yep, it's loaded it. But not 4. Oh yeah, 1, 0, 2, 3, 4. Done. I'm going to save this to this card. Save to device. Done. Huh. Now, I don't know if that affects the fact that I've put stuff on that card. I really need to look. It's something I'm really bad for. I just horse ahead. I need to see if it's saving it to the card or saving it to the SD card, because it feels like it's saving it to the physical SCSI to SD card, and then it reads the data depending on how the cylinders and sectors are set out. But it makes me think that it's also saving to the card itself. I'm not sure. But that is good. It is all there. I'm now going to try booting from this fellow. I'm doing it without the SCSI terminator right now because it said it switched it on the card. So let's just see if that works. Now I hope it's going to see the four partitions. Yes. Okay, that's the first time it's done that properly. Let's try it out. No. All right. Now, I'm going to load this back up. I'm now going to try it with changing that. There's a value at the beginning, which is like some SCSI thing, and I think that should be set to 0. All right, we're having a lot of non-booting. It gets so far and then it errors out. But when I put in this one, it's fine. And then if I take the card that I've just kind of flashed from there and put it in here, it works fine. So it shows it's the card. Damn it. However, there's one setting that I haven't changed, and it makes me think maybe this card is too new. So let's connect it back up. I've got a feeling it's the speed. So let's try that. Okay, so I've got this connected back up. Now, this no limit safe? I don't think it's safe. So I'm going to put this to sync 10 megabits, right? I don't like to look at the less reliable. Let's just put that there. But this selection delay also, I'm thinking it could be I don't know. I'm trying it at 0, right? So now let's save that. And let's save that and let's try that. I might be wrong, I might be very wrong. I have been known to be wrong. And I've got no reason that this is going to work. All right, let's try. What could be happening? An auspicious moment? Who knows? Something irreverent. Something beautiful. All right, let's do this. So, I'm taking this board, and I think I'm not going to plug in the SCSI terminator, because I've now successfully reloaded this back in, and I saw that the terminator was on, so it should be good. And for me to mount it inside the computer, inside the Fairlight chassis, I can't have the terminator. It won't be space. So let's just try this on its own, without the terminator. All right, normal boot process. Nothing surprising here. Good. So far the same as before. Oh, is that new? I'm getting confused. Did it boot like this with this card? I don't think I've ever had it coming with that. This is a great sign. All right, let's try it. So this is the part that it would load, and the flashing would happen, and then at this point here, shit. Oh! It's loading. It's loading, it's loading. It's loading, I can see it. Okay, this is, at some point we get a SCSI reset going on here. It seems to be going. Ha ha! Oh. No, it did a long burst, but it went through. It's going to load. I think it's going to load. It's going to load. It's going to load. I can feel it. There's nothing stopping it now. It's like normal. And it did load. There we go. No beep. I thought you would beep. Don't usually beep. That's fantastic. All right. We've now got it loading with the card. Let's go further. Let's load a system. Boom. Actually, I'm going to load this. It's going to run out of memory. There's no way it can load this because I've only got 8 megs of memory, and I know this uses the one. I'm loading in a system right now. It's definitely not going to work. At some point, it's going to go. I'm run out of memory. We will see. Loading Saxtron L12. Can't move channels. It bailed out already. So it's still trying to load. It's finishing up its commands for loading, but it's not. Doesn't look. It's run out of memory. Okay, let's do. Let's load in something. Let's go RS. Funky 5. Let's go load Funky 5. Boom. This is the first time I'm going to be actually loading up a good amount of sound with a good amount of channels, even though they need calibrated for sure. This is it. This is happening. I know it's going to play. I don't know what it's going to sound like. But this is the moment that I've kind of been waiting for in terms of seeing a complete machine and having it running. This is it. So, I really don't know what to feel about this. Play. Yay! Whoa! distortion there for sure. All right. Wow. All right. Hang on. Okay, so what I need is Kit Plus only. Kit Plus and Ethnic Percussions. Let's just go into that. Let's have a little look. Kit Plus and Ethnic they're all on the same channels. And I can't change that because I don't have a mouse. No, I know what I need to do. I'll come down and I'll put this to NP0. NP0. Right, boom. So we've freed up sax. Now I can go NP4, NP2, NP3, NP6. I want it to... Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Right, let's just go back to RS and let's play. And now what we should get... Alright, there we go. Alright, you're coming with me. Proper audio. It's mental. Alright. We've got that going there. There you go. And it's all distorted. It's all distorted, but it doesn't matter, because that's just calibration. Isn't that wonderful? Wonderful. You see it's reading from the memory there. That is just fantastic. Right. I'm kind of speechless. So what we've got to do now still is calibrate. We've still got to get we've got to get voltage coming out of this so it can power and get the mouse stuff working. Peter tells me I can hang up a mouse to this thing and it should work, but I haven't seen that working yet. And then get the ears on this thing. And then that's it. Wow, I didn't see that one coming. I didn't know I was going to press play. That is really quite a thing. Alright, this is one step further forward right now. Alright, I get it. This is a big moment. It's great and all, but I still don't have a mouse. It's kind of like having a speedboat on a lake going forward, and it's great, but you don't have a steering wheel. You know, it limits your scope of enjoyment versus terror when you're going across a lake with a speedboat, right? So it's very, very important for me to get a mouse going, right? So, of course, that's why I've now decided to fabricate the ears to make this machine rack mounted, because it's a rack mount machine. That's, of course, clearly way more important than actually getting the mouse working that would allow me to proceed with the project. And now we can finally get the mouse working. Oh, come on! Ta-da! Welcome to the high-tech workshop area. This is all of this is, it's like Egyptians. It's so exacting and everything's so precise. It's really quite incredible. When you see the precision, there's NASA landing on Mars, and then there's this in terms of precision. Really, it's quite incredible the level that I get down to here. Oops. One day I'm going to be a big grown-up boy and I'll have a vice. Done. I'm going to drill this one first, I think. Now, bigger drill. See if that fits. Dead battery. Damn it! Okay, drill. Fits. Okay, now that we have this flat, now that I can do this, I know I need to move this power supply. There's one more screw that I need to get, but I can do this. Look how nice that looks. And then I can get these two screws here by doing this. Ta-da! Good. Deburr. Done. Okay, so on one angle bracket I've made the holes. I'm missing one because I need to take the power supply out on the top and I can't be arsed. So I'll just do these ones first, beep boop boop, and drill those onto this side, and we should have almost a set. Alrighty, so I'm going to be, I've marked these. I went along and I slid on the inside of that just to get the markings in the right place. Then I kind of copied it from the positions of these guys.
So in one of my former lives, I was an electronics engineer and I'd work abroad a lot. And it was a company that made these large computer-controlled RF machines. They're radio frequency machines for industrial uses. And I would often be sent out to places like the Philippines and Indonesia, China, and all that.
Rough as a badger's arse, and I don't care.
And this was 20 odd years ago, 30 years ago, 400 years ago. And but the upshot is that I would be out there in the middle of nowhere and having to fabricate something or fix something, and then I'd end up having to the only thing I'd have is a drill and the side of the machine to work on. And I kind of got used to doing that. And so that's why, you know, it might look kind of rough, and it is rough, but it works out.
Alright, so I've filed these. They're not too bad. They're not a million miles away. Welcome to the Crisp Light paint department. It's very, very, as you can see, this is a modern standard place that we're at here. I'm going to be applying a little bit of resin spray onto this. See if it makes it look nice. This machine arrived with the panels here, these guys on, right? So that was like that, bonk, and that they have a bunch of countersunk screws that are going in the middle here. Now, it didn't arrive with the panels or the screws for the brackets because there was no brackets. I've now made this bracket, give it another little coat of the glossiness so it looks nice. The silver ones are going to go at the back. The black ones are going to go at the front because it works with the contrast of the Fairlight logo. So we're going to keep that like that. The only thing is the black ones are a bit more beaten up, but they are tough enough that I don't have any tools that will allow me to adjust them. It would be some kind of manhandling. Maybe I can. Look at that. What? I made this with my bare hands. Whose hands? doesn't look too bad at all. Nice, nice. And that plugs in there. Alright. We now have nice rack mount brackets on this thing. Wow, it's actually happening. It's now feeling very real.
Okay, now to the mouse. Oh wait, hinges. I could do that.
Alright, of course I could buy these, but because it's a personal project, I want to do as much as I can myself. So of course now I'm going to go and model these in 3D like an idiot and print them out. Because, you know, let's just make life way more difficult than buying them. Have a look. Oh, and it is just about finished. It is at 93%, and you can see what it's printing out there. It's just slowly doing its thing. I have no idea. And what else I'm doing at the moment is I've taken this all apart again. I'm going to be adding another 15 or 18 volts onto the 354 card so that it puts out the right voltage out of this. This will do two things. One, it would probably power the Fairlight Alpha, the pre-keyboard, if I was going to connect that. But also, I'm getting one of the little boxes that allows you to connect a normal USB and a USB keyboard and mouse. Right now, I need to get into the menu system of this, apparently Andre tells me, so that I can switch on mouse support. Because right now I'm not seeing anything. I've got this, I've tried a serial mouse, I've tried a USB and serial mouse, I've tried PS2 mouse, nothing's working, so it might be the menu. And so if I get that going, this might work straight away, which is great. But I'm going to add on the power supply now so that I don't have to do it later. And then the last thing I'm going to be ordering is these. They're called nut dressings. Nut dressings. All right. Oh, and the other thing I've got to do is these the 19-inch rack mount things. I've done some holes and they fit and all that. I've got to make the front holes so they actually go in. The printer has been printing. Let's see what we have. Look at these. Look at that. Wonderful. Five minutes should do it. Let's see what we have here. All right. So these are looking pretty good. This flat one looks great, actually. Look at that. Now I've got errors. Okay, I can see major errors around the side here. That's because it's flat and the overhangs aren't good. So that's going to be an issue right there. It's either that I need to thicken it up or do it at an angle. So a lot of the times people do this stuff at 45-degree angles because it makes it stronger. I don't like it because I like the finish that this gives. It looks so darn good. And then this one will probably be more accurate. But then you get this kind of, you get a, let me bring it in. It's more accurate, but then you get a kind of striation lines across the front here. But let's just break all these little bits off and see what it looks like. So let's compare. This is the version 1 that I did, which was like a bit too small and wasn't exactly right. And then this is the real thing. Okay, so if we hold up this one beside the real thing, I actually thickened up the handle a little bit, the little knob part, but if you look at the finish on that, it's really, wow. This one has rounded edges, this one doesn't. And let's look at the sides. Oh, sides need more love. Oh, okay. Let's start breaking this stuff off and let's have a proper look. Okay, so the overhang, that's the only thing, is the overhang didn't quite work on this. So you got these little layers which kind of slough off. Yeah, this might not be a contender. We will have to see once I've got all this crap removed. Right, I guess this would actually be okay. This is looking a bit funny in here. It's weird lump. That's because of the overhang. It can't print that so cleanly. And I guess I just snip off these last little bits. But so before I bake these, and I like to just get rid of all the excess material, stuff that we don't need, because it's when you bake it, it just gets hard and it builds in the tensions. So it's always good just to get all these little excess bits off beforehand. All right, it's not bad at all. So these guys were vertical. They look much, much better. They look so clean. They just don't have the finish. So let's just snap off these bits here. I can file that part off later. This looks great. This looks totally... Right, let's compare it to the real thing. So, if you have a look at that, oh wow. Look at that. This isn't bad at all. Look. Alright. Okay. Mine has actually got a higher... This distance here is wrong. How come I got that wrong? The overall height looks correct. You know what? I don't know how I've got that wrong. But I guess that we'll soon see when... look at that. This is wrong by a couple of millimeters. This gap. This might not fit. In fact, it won't fit. There you go, there's an error. So I'm going to be reprinting these. So I'll be on to version 3. And I think on version 3 it's clear I do them vertical. Oh, that looks really good. But yeah, that distance is the only thing that's wrong now. Which is fine. Yeah, look at that. So the overall height is the same, but this needs to go higher there. It's as simple as that. That's what I was seeing before. My brain didn't get it. Also, I notice here there's a flat bit right here and mine is pokey. So I might change that too. So the overall height's the same. I need to just move from there, there and there and this back point up by what looks like a clean 2 millimeters. Alright, okay, let's tidy this up. Let's go back to the drawing board.
Alrighty, now to the... Oh, wait.
So, on further inspection on the back of these ribbon cables I was checking, look what I see. Oh, you little devil. It looks like pin 1 is cut. Now, pin 1 is pin 1 of the CMI28 card, I believe. Yes, it is. Right, that one there. If I pull that, that's the cable that moves, right? Hello, bonk. So that's this cable here. All right, which is this guy. It's not this guy. It's this guy. And then it's the cable that gets it gets cut off. If I look on the thingamajig, that is MIDI out. So yeah, I think at some point I will need MIDI out on this. So I've now fed through another cable that I'm now going to cut and pop right in there. I need to see if I have any of these size thingamajigs. Ta-da! So now I need to add that onto here and then replace the... Oh, I've got to replace the other end, which is, these are wider ones. Crap! I might not have that. Sockets. 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 More sockets. Really? I don't have any? I must have some of those. I don't have one. So I'm going to order. I don't want to take this apart. They usually break, and I don't know if I'm going to be switching this machine on before the new part arrives. So I'm just going to not take it apart or try to do anything until the new one arrives. So I'm going to put this off and do this later on. Okay, the right width connections have arrived, and this will allow me to take this SMPTE MIDI cable. I've got the replacement made right here. It's all good to go. And then now all I've got to do is actually add on the connector. But then also what I need to do is carefully remove this, carefully remove this little end sticker so I can reuse it. This one is being more stubborn, so I'm actually just going to take the label off. It has got a tear in it. This might not be fruitful. Yeah, this is not going to work out. Okay, I'm going to make something else that's the same as this, and then I'm going to stick a MIDI SMPTE label on it instead. See if this fits. Look at that, shiny on the outside. Perfect. Okay, there we go. Don't be squint. Nah. Be straight.
Well, that's better. Nice and neat. Okay, so now it's time to finally get to the... Oh, wait, the 3D printer.
You hear that? Funny noise there? %. It is almost done. It's at 100%. 99%. 100%. It is done. Rise. Rise, you beauty. There we go. Look at that. Not bad at all. Okay, let's get these off of here and get them into the cleaner. Whoa, that's a lot of pressure. Actually, wow, just falls right out. Snap off these little extra bits, which were actually part of the model. Oh, it's also missing a huge big chunk. Yeah, I don't know if this... I should have raised it up a little bit or something. Alright, let's look at this guy. Oh, this guy looks good. This looks good. It's also got a ding in the middle. I might have to just print this again simply because of the cold. I don't know if that did something, but I've never seen a divot like this. It might be something to do with this, I'm not sure. Anyhow. Yeah, and it's massively deformed at the bottom there too. Need to compare this to the real one. So these two are good contenders. They're very soft right now. So I'm just going to put them in the little baking machine. It is basically an LED light, UV, 432 nanometers, whatever it is, a plastic bucket with a, solar powered rotating tray. Total investment, I think, $10. So I'll pop these down in here, and then when I put this on top, it sits and rotates. and I'll see it in 10 minutes time from now. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I don't have a spring in here. The main thing is that when I put this in here, it's going to put pressure on these springs. So I'm not going to push it in all the way. I'm going to push it enough so that it puts pressure on these things. And to see if it would go in. And it looks like it's going to go in. That's just great. What I don't want to do is go all the way, because I feel like I might snap these off. But it's got a bit of movement. They don't look like they're broken. They don't feel broken. But it is the weakest point. I really need to print them out. Not that way, but that way. Maybe that way. Oh, I didn't think of that, did I? I'm going to try that now. I'm going to try printing it a different way. I need to print them out in a way that's going to give strength to them, because right now it's at the weakest way, because they're stacked that way. Alright, cool beans. I'm going to call that done for now. Alright, I think if we add a little bit of lacquer onto this, it'll seal it and make it shiny and nice. And now, we have the clean room of Horizontal Productions in Australia. Now we have the very clean spray booth, which is my trash can, with a piece of thing screwed onto the top there. Taped, with blue tape no less. And I pop this in the top here. Boop! And now we'll give it a wee spray. And they said those years at art college were waste. Calling that done. Okay, that was a lot. Now, of course, I did things out of order. I did things that weren't important and typical. But I'm happy with the progress that I made. So, and on the next episode, I will definitely get the mouse going. I'll try not to have anything else getting in the way, and I'll be able to have full control of the machine, and we'll see what that's like. All right, until the next one, I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and we'll see you. Cheers.